Hello, you have reached the administration offices of White Marsh Township.
Full name, I go by Len. My full name, I go by Len. Greg Costa.
Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from?
And I'm here as the finance director / tax collector. I've been with the township for 7 years. I'm a graduate of Temple University with a BBA in accounting. Previously a CPA, so I worked in the local government financial positions prior at Warminster Township. I went to work at a large international accounting firm, and I worked at a local CPA firm, specialized in the audits of townships, counties, and school districts, as well as other governmental and not-for-profits. I left public accounting and I started at White Marsh Township as the assistant director in 2010, and I promoted to director of finance / tax collector on October 13, 2016.
I gotta do it, man.
Dude.
Man, I feel like money. Man, I feel like money. Yeah.
And my role as finance director is to ensure that all funds received and dispersed are properly recorded and classified in accordance with the prescribed account structure and applicable state, federal, and local reporting requirements, including budgetary as well as legal requirements.
Okay.
I'm responsible for preparation of financial statements in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles, refuse charges, and these are also included on the tax bill. And we have what they call fund structure. We have a funds where these are accounted for. General fund, we have general funds, pretty much the things you associate with a township, like police and fire marshal, things of that nature. Then we also have a separate fund for parks and recreation, the township parks you see.
Show me the money! Jerry, you better yell! Show me the money!
And I put the budget together for 2017. So one of the things that was very important is to predict how we're going to wind up the year. So we started doing that in July. And one of my things was to forecast how much money we're going to have at the end of the year, and that's called a carryover. And that's to be used to balance the following year. So you don't want to put money in the budget for revenue that you're not going to receive. So we try to make sure that we have a good handle on these types of things when we're projecting transfer tax. So, and with real estate, you look at the assessed value. That's the value composite of everybody, all the taxable property. What's that was worth, and you multiply by what we call the millage, and that's the rate of taxes. Like I said, the rate hasn't gone up since 2001. The townships, when we invest funds, we're required to adhere to the state laws and all that. So we must invest the money safely. So we can't really take high risk with the taxpayers' money. And they make sure that we're complying with state laws such as Act 72, and there's some recent changes in those. It's permissible investment. Generally, you want stuff that's going to be here tomorrow. You don't want something that's got fluctuating market values, and you don't want something at a loss, that type of thing. So generally, you'll see everything's government-backed and securities and things of that nature. So. Bidding requirements are prescribed by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and they've been unchanged for a little while. But basically, purchase anything below $10,500 doesn't require any formal bidding. Contracts between $10,500 and $19,400 require written quotes, and then we also have contracts over $19,400 that require to have formal bidding. So we have a situation now. Professional services, they don't have to be bid, but what we'll do to make it do comparisons, called RFP. When we go out for banking, we selected our present bank through an RFP process. Had various banks submit their what it would cost them to, for different things in the banking. And one thing I mentioned earlier that one of the things with the we have to maintain a certain balance with the bank called a compensating balance, and that's so beyond that is where we have to invest the money.
Sorry, I ain't got no money. I'm not trying to be funny.
Well, the township has debt obligations. We have long-term debt. We have the Angus tract, which I mentioned earlier, and the sheep tract loan. We're required under something called the Local Government Unit Debt Act that we can only have a certain amount of debt. We're well within the constraints of that limitation, the Local Government Unit Debt Act. Our borrow capacity, we're well under it. The part of the thing, too, the open space is a designated funding stream for our debt. So as far as our debt, we're well within our confines, and we're not overextended. We're not borrowing to fund deficits or anything of that nature. We're borrowing to fund particular capital projects.
Ain't no use to you ringing my line. Stop wasting my time.
We have what's called a capital reserve fund, and that's made up of two things. One is the loan proceeds, sinking fund account we call it, and that money is drawn. Projects are specified in the budget. Now that's a collaborative basis with the board, the department heads. Everybody gets their wish list in there. We're able to set money aside with the transfer from the general fund into the capital reserve to be used for capital items. One of the philosophies here is that you try to buy capital out of the capital items out of the capital fund and not use the general fund operating budgets to fund capital purchases.